A little handed off on the opening play. Talk about Jason Beck. The run game was heavily featured.
On will be tackling.
Underwood will roll out of the pocket on his first pass attempt, and he'll have to play it safe. Tuck this.
So here's exactly what I was just saying is I'm really looking at this offensive line to try to hold up and keep him clean. There's going to be no blitzes by the Michigan defense today.
Quarter, if there was one, maybe credit Jonah Etta there, who's one of the transfers from Utah. Throw over the middle. It is caught over the middle.
Underwood, it's just a confident throw, throwing over the middle on third down. But what you'll notice there, protection just held up enough. Let's see his feet. See his eyes getting all the way through his reads. Arm down. That ball.
Gain of 16 there on third down. Of course, good to simulate that patience on third down plays as well. Getting as much reps with that.
Make up that 14-point difference in points is really going to fall on the shoulders of Bryce.
Utah put up some points in the Big 12.
They're going to play split safety defense, so Bryce should know the coverage.
Got some good protection here. He'll go downfield, one-on-one, out of the reach just of Salesi Moa.
This is what I do, and we're going to do it. The best coordinators say, hey, what do I have? They're going to tailor this offense, to Caroline's point, to the strengths of Bryce Underwood and the strengths of some of their athletes. Like
that was his first carry of the day.
Yeah, I mean, the standard here in Ann Arbor is to have multiple great running backs. It was Justin Haynes on a Heisman campaign. He gets injured, and then Jordan Marshall looks like he could points today.
All Big Ten second team, one of the hardest guys in the Big Ten to take down as well after contact. Hopping up the middle once again. Kyle Whittingham has touched on the continued development of this offensive line. Some names are in today, some names are out. As Underwood steps up again here.
Both offensive lines, but that time the Maize defensive line won.
Marshall flips out as a receiver this time, makes the grab, and picks up about 5 yards. Yeah.
Taylor, those reps are going to be up for grabs.
Marshall still in the backfield, blocking for his QB Underwood this time, who rolls out, getting pressured, and he will scoot out of bounds.
The first down. From his Achilles, expected to be cleared June 1st. He's an All-American talent to go on top of some of the other players.
Some trickery for the first time. Travis Johnson got a block on the outside and stepped up just past.
Coming back from that Achilles, and if they can get him back to his playing standard, that'll bode well for Michigan.
Just kind of fits right in as Michigan runs up the middle here.
I know this as a player. I lost to him twice early in my career.
There's a flip trying to get another third down conversion. That was Marshall on the catch, but
that you were referencing, and that's because offensive coordinator Jason Beck says that reputation for his offense is
motions, but at the end of the day, you're still calling those same base plays, so it's simple in scheme.
Right on cue, more trickery. Underwood going to launch down the field, down the sideline, but just out of the reach of his intended target. He was leaking out after that trickery.
Yeah, and he had him, and this is the second deep ball where Bryce Underwood has had a guy downfield with a step. This time Hoffman was pretty open at the college level, and Bryce just couldn't connect with them. Hoffman more of a fullback type role, but has some catching ability. Fastball, but on some of these deeper passes, especially to tight ends, he could benefit from putting some more air on it to let him adjust. Dominic Nichols, Cameron Brandt. This time Nate Marshall is working up against Evan Link, guy who's been a featured piece of this Michigan offensive line. That's just a great pass rush move.
Getting toward the tail end of this opening quarter where Underwood's playing both teams. Throw over the middle that time into traffic. And nearly hauled in, but incomplete. 6 catches, 427 yards, 5 touchdowns.
And he's a big body, so I'm sure Bryce Underwood trusts him in contested catches situations. And that's a really risky throw, Jace, especially here. It's in the first quarter.
For the Maize team on offense, once again, Underwood still a QB. Low snap, has to pick it up. Good protection. And the throw slips in and out of the hands of his intended receiver.
Andrew Marsh, they just happened to be always on the same page. That time just couldn't come down with the completion.
Might have had intentions for Marsh again. That's
sting that clean pocket when it applies.
Lugard and Opai had the deflection that time. So now another third down scenario, and we'll see if they whistle it down. And get pressure once again defensively.
Keep an eye on Enow, Etta, another guy that Whittingham mentioned that they think they're 5 deep at D tackle, and Enow Etta was the first name that Whittingham mentioned from that group. 6'5", 320, he's a force, but how about the quickness too and the speed to try to run down Bryce Underwood.
Plays so far, Chris Bracey on the Maize defense as Maize is back on defense now, maybe for a couple more plays in this.
Maybe surprised you?
I don't know. I mean, we played pretty consistently throughout the season. I think our ability to raise our level in the games that had the most on.
Here in Ann Arbor, when you did a lot of your winning in the postseason, but how special was it to just come back to this atmosphere?
And the players for having a great commitment to the game plan. And obviously for our fans supporting us the way they did throughout the postseason run, whether it was in Buffalo.
Comes from a strong bloodline, as you mentioned. He'll be playing for both teams here in the second quarter. And what you're seeing here is what Whittingham highlighted. A sneaky athlete. You know, you think Bryce Underwood, and shocked the Maize defense here as well. Of course, everyone's going to have their eyes on Savion Hyder. And as soon as the defense overplays, it's going to be on the quarterback to read it out. Great job by Tommy Carr there on 3rd and long, using his legs to get the chains. How about the speed?
It's a gain of 16. Second time they picked up 16 on 3rd down. Athletic, of course, grandson of Lloyd Carr, but also grandson of Tom Curtis, who was a safety at U of M from 1966 to 69. And they go up the middle once. Hyder will take another handoff, and you see right there, Jay White on display, bouncing off of tacklers and that contact balance. I think he heard you.
Of these Michigan running backs' legs, Jordan Marshall, thick lower body, Hyder running right through a defensive lineman, bouncing off a number of Maize tacklers. And that's what the running backs do. You get those gritty, tough yards.
This is Moten Carr utilized as well in a sneaky way so far. They go back to Hyder, and why not? Moving the chains.
Yards, those yards after contact. He's going to get hit here right about at the line of scrimmage, but because of that lower body strength, he keeps his legs churning, and it takes 1, 2, just about 3 Maize jerseys to bring him down. You can see why the coaches are so excited for Savion Hyder.
Hyder, one of the early enrollees, along with Carr. Carr going to throw it over the middle in the crossing route. It is caught by Jacob Washington. Cheese and Bull, gain of 6.
Well, I just want to look at Tommy Carr here. It's not a big game, but watch how quiet his feet are in the pocket. Notice his eyes. He's looking all the way through his progression and then gets back to his check.
Hyder and Carr, the backfield duo, right
down in distances.
Jonathan Brown is the new running back in. Got a good block on that right side and squeaks inside of the 10-yard line.
Here, big number 71. He's going to be a key piece pulling from that left tackle position. I think he has a chance to play inside if he wants to. A really valuable piece there up front on the offensive line.
Production coming back on this roster in addition to the transfers for Kyle Whittingham when it came to constructing this team this year as Jonathan Brown.
Love to see him hand it to him twice here.
It's Carr keeping it. Second time he's trying to move out to that left side. And he'll squeak out of bounds, just the fans are seeing for the first time today. And it's pretty fun to watch.
There's the mesh point. Defensive end crashes in. That's Benny Patterson. Carr reads it out, but a good job just flowing.
For the blue team, a part of the top 20 returning production in the country this year. They flip it out to Hyder. First time seeing him catch a pass as Carr is now 3 for 3 through the air.
They told us one of the exciting pieces for Hyder is he's a great pass catcher too. Again, you got to be able to run the ball if you're going to be a 5-star running back, but he's a great pass catcher. That's going to allow Jason Beck to get into some 2 running back personnels. We might see Jordan Marshall and Savion Hyder.
This field goal attempt, but Stuart Blake going to come on to attempt the 23-yarder from a relatively tough angle.
And you alluded to it, the leadership has stood out as well, being voted a team captain.
Carr back in here, he'll roll out again. Pretty good coverage downfield, so steps out of bounds. And
back, Hogan Hansen healthy, Deacon Tonelli. A number of these offensive linemen played last year. Great pocket presence again. I say Carr has real quiet feet in the pocket. It's 2 straight plays, not taking an unnecessary risk. Now 3 straight plays, taking what the defense gives him. And so here's the last 3 plays. Watch him boot out. He wanted to go to Hogan Hansen here, but you see a linebacker sink underneath, and a good job. Hey, on 1st and 10, I don't need to take a risk. Scrambles for it. Here's the pocket presence. He's going to get him into another favorable down and distance, and then hitting Hogan Hansen before scrambling once again right here.
Uses the speed to get out of bounds again. I think they might give him a first down.
Just operationally, Tommy Carr looks outstanding, and this is just high-level football right here. The defense leaves Hogan Hansen uncovered. Tommy Carr sees that, gets the ball out, and again, pocket presence, understanding this
the most, knowing he understands what's at stake every time you step in front of these fans in this particular setting.
Oh, nice catch.
Salesi Moa, beautiful grab. There, Portal came over with Coach Whittingham.
Youth to youth. Remember, Salesi Moa couldn't come down with that deep one down the sideline, but makes up for it with the highlight one-handed catch. looking great operationally, leading both offenses.
You talked about his athleticism. He also played basketball in high school.
Waiting to see things come open. What Tommy's showing us right now is he's anticipating pre-snap where he's going to go with the ball. He knows Hansen is going to be open because they got the second down. Take those underneath so you can get into favorable down and distance.
This time holding on to it a little longer as there's good coverage downfield, but he utilizes those legs once again. Well, on 1st and goal, maybe the final play of the half. Gets it out quickly to the end zone. It's broken up in the corner of the back.
A lot. Again, understanding, hey, I want to just give my guy a chance. Here's the pump fake. He knows where he's going with it, and this ball needs to be high and outside, just where his guy can have a chance. Maybe a little late on it, but a nice, beautiful, tight spiral. Safe throw. Offenses.
Super impressive. And now the transfer from Pitt, Trey Budkowski, on for the 29-yarder. Quarter underway. And is Carr beginning it after a stellar second quarter? Carr going to take another snap, another good throw, another good catch from French that time. Bobbled it initially, then recovered. Saw them do that in short yardage situations in the first half. They do it again in the second half, and you see how tough he is to bring down, Jake. That's exactly coming to replay here.
As a defensive lineman, I would hate to tackle number 5 Hyder here, but takes the handoff here, patient with his blocks, lets the blocks develop, and then keeps his feet moving through contact, and a really good pickup on 3rd down.
Worm, how often did a running back knock you back? Because from my remember that ever happening, but it seems like Hyder is able to get push on some of these defensive linemen.
Yeah, it's happened a handful of times in my career, but when you got a guy like, number 5.
Yards of momentum to get his legs churning, and good luck bringing him down with that.
8 carries, 30 yards from him so far. Give him 9 carries and add on some yards to that total. And
That Savion has.
Quick throw this time. 3rd catch for French. 3rd catch of the half, which should be.
We obviously know Andrew Marsh, J.J. Buchanan's been highlighted, but Tommy Carr seems to have a great connection with Jamie French, the transfer from Texas, and great job there with quick hands. He gets this ball secured right away, breaks a tackle on Shamari Earl. Yards to their stat sheet.
Carr 9 for 11, 59 yards now. And they'll hand it off. Good room on that right side for early enrollee.
And he's lucky to have pullers. Watch these pullers lead the way. This is going to be a bread and butter part of Michigan's rushing scheme, pulling both backside offensive linemen and getting Hyder out in space. Once again, he's May's defensive line.
It's a longer drive now. They're having not as many backups and people to fill in and kind of replace and get.
And press coach Whittingham for a chance to crack some playing rotation.
Carr, another quick decision over the middle, but in and out of the hands of his intended target. That Whittingham talked a lot about the battle for the 2s and the 3s and how important this second half will be in those position battles. Good throw, though, there.
Yeah. They've went to this in-breaking route again. They're going to show you 20% of the offense. We'll see 20% of the defense. Now with it, not an easy catch, but a catch you'd like to make, particularly on 3rd down.
40-yard field goal for Stuart Blake. And that is good.
Absolutely apparent there in 2015 when we went out to Utah. That team was tough and disciplined and sound. We can expect the same here now with Whittingham leading the Wolverines. Implement a new culture.
I mean, it was 4-hour spring ball practices.
Don't remind me.
Yeah, and he split it up, so it was real. I mean, coaches were on the field for 6 hours.
I'd rather have it tough and win. And when you hire a coach with that pedigree, you feel like you can win. Nice throw. Wow.
Salesi Moa, speaking of Utah.
Tommy Carr continues to impress, and he's really doing such a great job. 3 down, 4 down. Tommy feeling that zone and doing a great job finding Kendrick Bell.
The gain of 16. Now they go back to the running game and creep inside of the 30.
In 7th season, we were looking for somebody to bring in to win us games and to lead us in that right way. And in 2015, we went 10-3, so it was a recipient.
Indiana, a veteran team. Ohio State, a veteran team. Michigan, a veteran team. Obviously, this Michigan team is still young, particularly on the offensive side.
Kyle Whittingham, so he's looked good in this quarter. He has 4 catches in this 3rd quarter. Speaking of catches over the middle, that one just in and out of the hands of Kendrick Bell, who had
really young, but I'd say that bodes well for the future if this core can stay together.
He's got 4 receivers here in this package. He's going to roll out. He'll opt to keep it. We saw the legs in the opening half. See if they try to get one more playoff in this 3rd quarter. They do. They'll run it inside of the 5, where the defensive line gets pretty around the city. A ton of Big Ten on display. And now on the of the able to really get open field tackle.
And you're a good job.
20 years or so. Now trying to stump it in right at the goal line. It's time to force the 4th and goal coming up.
That's a great job by Weinbach. I saw Kainoa Winston in there, but Weinbach is the one that backs and gives the defense a chance.
Oh, and tight areas once again, and the defensive line steps up.
I couldn't quite see who hit him there. I think it was number 23 that came shooting through the hole.
Dabney, but then look out for Bobby Kenka in there as well.
Bam. Oh, baby. Yeah, Kenka and Babney, the two-man show, shutting down any scoring thoughts right away from the blue team. And this game remains without a touchdown. That is goal line defense there.
Chase Herbstreit coming in at QB for the first time. Son of Kirk Herbstreit and Allison, who are both here.
St. X, known for their football, legendary Ohio high school program. Chase Herbstreit was the scout team Michigan offense.
It's really cool. Some of the family lineage that's definitely littered throughout the course of this Michigan team, and the QB room in particular. Chase going to try to get out and lead up for a block that time. That flag does come out behind the play. On the long.
Watch this beautiful cutback by Jonathan Brown. Great job pressing the hole. The Maize defense overplays it.
Jonathan Brown, a true freshman, Westerville, Ohio native. He also played safety in high school. Going to take another hand.
One of the best jobs, in his opinion, maybe the best job in all college football, and he's really excited for here and hoping he can bring some championships to Ann Arbor.
Carr back in, deep throw down the sideline, incomplete, one-on-one. He's loving what Tommy Carr is doing so far in this one.
Jace, I think this is the throw of the day, and Jamar Browder is a guy I was really excited for, really excited to see what happened this spring. He had a ton of buzz, a big, strong wide receiver.
Again, another decisive throw, screen pass that time. And now still bouncing off tacklers, but then eventually
mastered this offense, and he's doing his job. He's taking care of the football and making some really nice decisions.
Good coverage downfield, got it off anyway. Good, way more elusive than the high school tape would indicate. And here's another guy who's always in the room watching film, studying his progressions. This time he will opt to keep it and run it. There's that elusiveness right on cue that we talked about, but a late. I'll hand it off this time to O'Mara, and he gets inside of the. Is not playing in this game today. Their multi-time captain, 5th-year guy. In that secondary as Carr is going to roll out again, trying to keep this one alive to the end.
Here's the quiet feet, the poise, understanding you're in the red zone, don't need to force it. There's no pressure, so why rush it? And you see the hold right there, right there. Pyle was able to separate, but it was the IL deal, so they're probably just buying themselves steaks anyways. Different than my days.
Bypassing the hot dogs. High throw that time
to get him back healthy.
5 stars over the last couple of years. Bryce Underwood, Carter Meadows, Savion Hyder, and Babeloa. So now Carr will roll out. We'll see if they blew that one dead or not. The blue, the O-line and the strength staff as well, so important when it comes to the push in the trenches.
Yeah, they mentioned the strength staffs in the country here in Ann Arbor, and the players have echoed that.
Carr looks to his right, now going through his progressions, a lot covered up in the end zone, throws it to the back of the end zone, and it was a Jeff. And you noted how important it was in the national championship year when it came to what the strength staff helped that group
in Ohio State. There he was talking to Kerry Combs with the crystal white hair. Special teams coordinator, very important piece of team success.
There's that trickery we saw earlier, but doesn't
good for Chase Herbstreit. You know, hey, it never feels good to get hit, but you know, you kind of miss football. There's not a live A lot of live periods during. I'd say keep an eye on number 20 up top of your screen, Jalen Pyle. That's been the go-to guy here late in the game.
Has to recover after initially dropping that snap, then makes the smart play to just throw it away.
In the slot down here on the hash.
Quick throw down the seam, and he was
What a
looking
catch.
that time for Browder. He's got him.
Catch. Love about Jamar Browder, it's that big frame, 6'5", long arms, jumping ability. A dangerous throw here, a real dangerous throw. Lucky that one wasn't picked off, but Jamar Browder with a nice strong catch.
Another quick throw to the sideline. Gain of 6, getting down in the red zone now. Throw to the sideline is caught again. Eli Owens.
You don't go broke taking a profit. Watch the cornerback sink right here. His eyes are on the go ball. Good outside release. Perfectly happy taking these underneath routes to continue moving the football.
Take what's given. That's what you told me at halftime, Jake, what Carr was doing so well in the first. That one was caught by Pyle. Another pickup of 6. Another quick throw. It's Pyle again.
Jason.
You got Browder in the bottom of your screen again. They opt to run it this time, get down to about the 1-yard line. So battle down here once again. Who can win round 2? They'll go to the edge and just short once again.
Let's build a touchdown, an extra point would win it. This is what it takes. Strain around, meeting each other at the 1-yard line. Let's see what happens.
O'Meara, this time he is in! And the Maize team will storm the fields and take their stakes.
A little bit easier. Great push up front. You're always taught as an offensive guy, if you score with your man, the running back will score behind you. That's an excellent block. I believe number 67, Houston Torres, clearing things out and leading the way.
Witkowski. Whoa. Able to split the uprights cleanly, and I think those stakes will be medium rare tonight. Yes.
There we go.
Love the celly from Hullebeck. Herbstreit immediately has to step up and throw it away.
Snap the ball. Defense gets back on side.
Marshall got back on side. Quick throw over the middle, and that is caught. Down to the 40 they go. Gonna run up here. Clock is at 10 seconds. Herbstreit, another throw that time was pressured. 4 receivers with 4 seconds left. Pressure comes from Marshall. He stretches out. Now he'll wind it up to the end zone, and it's batted down. So the stakes will go to the Maize team.
Literally on the line. See, Chase Herbstreit gives this guy a chance here. Just spins it up. Just good disciplined defense. Bats it down. I believe that's number 39, Reyes. But obviously the standout performer today was Tommy Carr. Undoubtedly looked outstanding. You got a chance to see Savion Hyder. I mean, boy, the future is absolutely bright.
Michigan